today, our favorite moments from the virtual live show fundraiser we had with Cecile, Landi, and Levi, our opportunity for comedy awards for the year 2025, 2 mini commissions where we draft number 1, the best college teams from the last 3 years, but they can only compete on one event. And another mini commission on all of the Alabama and Georgia drama back in the day that didn't make it into the Suze and Sarah documentary. Today is December 16th, 2025, and welcome to the number one gymnastics podcast in the galaxy. I'm Jessica, and I'm here with Spencer from the Balance Beam Situation. Spencer, yesterday we had a live show, an all-virtual live show, which was also a fundraiser for the National Eating Disorder Association. And actually, Cecile and Levi chose a charity. So you can still watch this replay. No one has beaten the quiz yet. No one's won the prize on the quiz, Spencer, because you made it so hard.
I can't design a quiz with anything other than my intentions for college gymnastics, which is you could allegedly get a perfect score, but no one's ever deserved one. It's my feeling on the matter.
Okay, so with that in mind, tell me, what were your favorite parts of the live show? Or what did you learn something that you didn't know before?
Well, favorite parts is obviously anytime Cecile makes fun of Laurent, which was most of it. That's always the highlight. That's my favorite thing ever. I think that's objectively just the correct answer. Was your favorite part of this? Cecile making fun of Laurent, obviously. Okay, but what I will say, I'm starting to whisper and lean in because this is just between us and not a public podcast. I thought Cecile was going to be a little cagier about her criticisms of USA Gymnastics in various cases, and she was not afraid to say what she thought, and I appreciated that very much. I was into that.
Yeah. So Levi Jung-Ruivivar, who obviously we've covered since she was like 12 years old, and she's at Stanford now. Her talking about what her schedule was like to qualify to the Olympics and how between traveling, school, all the things that happen in the World Cups, because she talked about, messes and what it was like and that there's problems and, traveling different countries. That part was really interesting to me because I did not know some of the things that happened. And I was like, what? This is really bad. But also is a testament to like how much the athletes go through who qualify like this individually. It's so much harder than qualifying as a team in terms of your insane schedule and travel. I want to play you guys a little trailer, a little teaser. If you want to watch the replay, you can buy a ticket to the replay, and a portion of the proceeds will go to our charity. Here is a little bit of what you missed.
First of all, the tiebreaker is such a dumb rule.
I agree.
A question from Vanessa, which is, are you allowed to communicate with Jordan's parents right now, or is that also against NCAA rules?
Jeffrey Scott.
Your ideas. Yeah, feel free to share your ideas.
Yeah.
Speaking of Dr. Marcy, what do you think of USAG not renewing their contract with her?
What do you think about her finding out through email like everybody else?
Mm-hmm.
They were asking me some very weird questions.
Like what?
How you going to present yourself? Everybody knows Laurent, but they don't know you. And I was like, well, because I was at home raising our daughter while he was traveling. I apologize if I wasn't at all the gymnastics competition.
Karen says, well, Simone is the absolute best, but what is something behind the scenes that you can share about her? Even something that's funny. She has the best sense of humor.
We just FaceTimed her last night. We have a picture somewhere. It's pretty terrifying. And Laurent is 14 and he's way too old, and I have a bowl haircut anyway, so what would he look at me? So, really right here, the 90s. And so I told him, if you want to be closer, you can move here. I'm not going anywhere. And then same for the US. I am not going for my dreams for a guy. So if you want to join me, I'll have you. But if you don't want to go, I'm going.
She's not going to like that. I just said that. Sorry, Dad.
Also, did you see the weapons closet at that meet?
It was also like going to the restroom in the arena was like it felt like going through a war zone. Like I was stepping over like broken glass and like, I don't know. It was definitely like a lot, but it was also like a cool arena,
That would be iconic. That would be so amazing.
So you can still buy a replay ticket, or you can get it as a gift for someone. And also, the 2026 season pass is now available. You get 4 live shows for the price of 3 with this season pass for 2026. And remember, if you want to upgrade at any time to an in-person ticket, you can do that as well. It's time for... It's time for Opportunities for Comedy, the 2025 awards show.
Excellent.
Brought to you by GymCastic.
I think we deserve it. I think it's very important. This is our last show of our last main show of the year. We'll be back for behind the scenes later this week, but our last main show of 2025. And I think we've all earned an opportunity for comedy retrospective to celebrate the achievements in the primary goal of gymnastics, which is not about learning life lessons. It's about being an opportunity for comedy.
If you are a visual listener, this awards segment has many gifts. So if you want to experience watching us record this show and watch along on YouTube, now is the time to try it, I would say.
So, Jessica, would you like to start us off with your first opportunity for comedy award?
Yes, I would. I would like to begin with one of our favorites who's given us so many moments of joy and hilarity this year, which is Abby Martin of the British GBs. And she wins the award for, oh, hell no, I'm not going out of bounds. I will be on my toes and not put my heels down and squat and wave my arms around because that's not happening to me award. Congratulations, Abby Martin. Well done.
Excellent.
In the understood the assignment category, I would like to award the first nomination, the first nominee for this award goes to Eastern Michigan University for the first annual Golden Girls themed meet with Golden Girls cutouts, which was one of my favorite things ever. That is just such a great idea. I mean,
yes,
everyone should have a Golden Girls meet.
They get what we're looking for from college gymnastics. If you're going to, this is the energy we would like you to bring to college gymnastics is just a bunch of Golden Girls cutouts.
Comedy. That's exactly
I would say I think we do need to give an understood the assignment award because this is college sports and you or allegedly have assignments you're also supposed to do. I would like to award one to the team from the University of West Virginia or West Virginia University. Sorry. If I got it in the wrong order, I'll hear from Will Graves about it. They receive it for excellence in the field of stick crowns because it was a plunger. A plunger hat is a stick crown. They won it. You can't it's done. Stick crowns are done now because West Virginia did the best one, and now it's over. And also team photo shoots, as we very much enjoyed their coal mine team photo shoots. Plunger, stick crown, coal mine photo shoots, just being genuinely weird. That is what we want from college gymnastics. So I say, West Virginia understood the assignment.
They just got a new fancy gym. So I hope they don't, lose their weirdness and their sense of comedy and irony now that they have basically a Clemson, Georgia, Michigan, Oklahoma.
You're saying you're worried they sold out.
Alabama gym, locker room. Yeah. Yes. I mean, they practically have chandeliers in there. So, I'm worried that
they've moved past plunger hat and they're just going to have a legitimate stick, a real stick crown, like a basic team.
Oh my God.
That would be very disappointing. You can't.
No, they should. If they upgraded to coal miner, what's the lantern on your head? And they carry around a bird, what kind of bird? I think it's any kind of bird that they would carry. Because the birds smell
the canary in the coal mine. Canary in the coal mine is what you would like.
But it never dies. Not a real one, a stuffed one that always stays alive. Because obviously, but I think they need to have a special place, a framed, you would put your finished Lego product in a framed glass box on the wall, and you would.
That's something that you do.
I would too. Yes, okay. And you just take it out for. That's what I want. That's what I want for the plunger. It has a place of honor when you walk into the gym. You understand who this team is.
Yeah.
So
I think I approve of that.
Yeah. Wolf Turn, as a protest, is a special award that anyone can achieve.
No, that's a really important category because, as we all know, wolf turns are horrible. Even though I'm kind of over complaining about wolf turns, I still recognize the public sentiment that they are horrible, and they definitely always deserve to be protested. So Leila Vasilyeva does receive the Wolf Turn Protest Award this year for not just falling on a wolf turn, but falling onto the beam and grabbing it like perhaps a koala or a small baby who needs to hang on for dear life. And that is an important way to finish because she's finishing it in a rather fetal fashion. And that's what, because wolf turns reduce you to tears. That is what we've learned and nothing else. And this is exactly, you need a safety blanket or something to cling to after you do or see a wolf turn.
I think she probably almost fell because there's too many damn giant stickers on that. Too many advertising stickers on the beam that probably sabotaged her, even though she doesn't seem to touch any of them. But I would like to blame those. We need to stop. This isn't the F1 soccers or whatever where it's just nothing but plastered with ads and you can't even tell what team they're on because let's stop with just harassing the beam
F1
with all those
soccer
ads.
is something in your mind?
Yeah, you know, the cars are covered with ads and then the soccer jerseys are covered with ads.
Those were two separate ideas because you invoked F1 soccer like it's where cars play soccer.
They wear,
which I'm shocked doesn't exist if it doesn't.
Oh, they for sure have a robot soccer.
They for sure have a sport where just like race cars kick balls at each other.
Yes. I do like the little outfits they wear that are covered with ads. That's okay. They wear their little jumpsuits in the race car driving.
Why do you like that? But just express that you hated it.
Well, because they look like a Snuggie, like a footy pajama. But you don't see it when they're driving. Just when they come out, they can be covered in ads, and then you put them in the car, and the car should be free from the advertising nonsense. Because
so it's fine to besmirch a human, but not something sacred like a vehicle.
I mean, the vehicle is doing the racing, so
right. I mean,
I want them to be distinct colors that I can tell who's who. Not that I ever watch this. Anywho,
sure could have fooled me with all of this analysis.
This is the problem. If it's gotten so big that even I know what goes on in it, I'm just jealous of that gymnastics should be this big. So this is probably our next category is the most sacred of all of our awards for the year, and
because it is dedicated to one Olly Hogben. This is the Olly Hogben award for unintentional dismount, which is what Olly calls falls. But a true unintentional dismount was achieved by Zoe Malomo at Winter Cup this year, who receives the award for her achievement in peeling off the low bar and sticking her fall and then looking confused after. Because that is the most gymnast thing that's ever happened, where it's like, I stuck, I have no idea where I am or what happened. That was pure instinct. I peeled off, I guess I did a back tuck to my feet and stuck it, and I have no idea what happened.
This is also another example of why everyone should start with gymnastics, because she landed so safely, she shocked herself. And that is the cat-like ability you gain from doing the sport of gymnastics. So, I mean, can an F1 driver do that? Doubt it. Can't even move with all those sticker ads all over themselves.
True.
The next category is a new one, and we are so excited about this category. Spencer.
We are proud to award the first ever Style Accessory of the Year award to Courtney McCool's right heel. For that time, LSU put it in the middle of the huddle and then gave it a round of applause, because that is truly the attention that a heel deserves. Because if you're going to wear it, and it being such a stupid thing to put on your foot anyway, it should be a round of applause. Everyone who wears heels should get a round of applause just for being willing to do that stupid thing.
Why have you done that to yourself? We might as well.
Why would you do that to yourself to get a round of applause?
A moment. You guys know how much I love adult gymnastics, so I want to tell you about this book.
It's called Broken to Unbreakable, The Comeback I Never Saw Coming. Gymnast Lori Volkomer's first spinal fracture ends her dreams, but the second one does the opposite and leads her back to the gym at 49. As a kid, the gym was her world. One fall fractured her spine and seemed to close that chapter for good. Life went on, family, business, everyday responsibilities, but that unfinished story never really went away. Then, after a second spinal fracture at 47, Lori reached a turning point and did something no one expected. She returned to gymnastics and competition as an adult. Her comeback shows how this sport can surprise you decades later and open a completely new chapter, one built on joy, courage, and choosing yourself again. Olympic medalist Chelsea Memel calls Broken to Unbreakable a powerful testament to resilience and courage, turning setbacks into comebacks. Get Broken to Unbreakable by Lori Volkomer on Amazon or wherever you buy your books. And remember, you're never too old and it's never too late.
We had a lot of changes to the men's code, and then they started some and they took some away, and then they're like, no, we're going to keep this, but we're going to get rid of this later. And, triples, they were like, oh, we don't want to incentivize, this is too dangerous, but we'll wait and save the danger part until after Worlds. But for now, the scales are really ugly, so we probably should get rid of them, but not until after World Championships. So we got so many great moments at World Championships of men doing scales, and that is why we have a new category, which is
the Community Service Award, which has been awarded to the men's scale for services, just tremendous services to the gymnastics comedy community in the year 2025. No one volunteered their efforts for our well-being more than men trying to do a scale on floor.
It would be a 700-way tie if we awarded this specifically to one person.
No, the award is not going to a gymnast. It's going to the scale. The scale itself. Put a medal on a scale because that's what's getting. Or a balance, if you'd like.
A balance, right, because it could possibly call it a scale. Now, my favorite winner of an award, the fall of the year. We have nominees, but for me, this is the clear winner.
Go for your winner. Tell me about your winner.
Rafaela Peralt from LIU, who did a gigantic, enormous handspring front pike, threw off the mats. She was so high, could not control her power, off the mats into the little stanchion, through the stanchion and onto the floor. She was practically out the door. She almost landed at someone who's just standing there or sitting there on the ground. I was like, oh my God, if she can control that and add a half turn, national champion.
I think my favorite part of this is actually that she still salutes afterward.
Right, obviously.
Like, as the coach is trying to give her a hand to help her up, she's like, I still have to salute. Excuse me. I
Don't
just did
touch
the
me
best
until I
fall
hold
of the
it
year.
For 1 second and get my
trucked a piece of equipment on the ground, and now I'm gonna salute that as you should.
To have so much power that you almost break through a wall. This is the dream. And we salute you, Rafaela. Thank you. Thank you.
I need to give a fall of the year. Maybe we can say runner-up. We can say co-fall of the year, even though I don't religiously believe in ties. They're against my belief system. I need to give an award to Ashley Sullivan on bars at American Classic for fall of the year. This was my favorite one because it's preceded by an amazing save on a toe fall where she, any human would go over. She pulls that back and then immediately goes into a Van Leeuwen where she does the leg kicky fall, which is my favorite kind of fall, where you're like kicking your legs like a spider that's maybe going to get dropped into a pool or something. Famously made famous by Seda Tutalian, who would often fall off beam with a little leg kick, and it was excellent. Adding a leg kick to a fall is really a level of artistry we don't talk about enough. That your fall still needs to meet the artistry checklist, and I felt like we really saw playing a character. We saw involvement of the body parts. We saw all of these things in her fall off bars, and that is also one of the most important parts.
Two of my favorite things about this moment was that she almost did a full back bend, saving her handstand. That's how far she was over. And then that no one moves when she does her toe on shaposh to, oh my God, where am I? I try to save my life, roll out, but almost looks like she's going to land on her head. Like, no one moves. Everyone's like, she's an elite gymnast. She's going to be fine. She will save herself. No one even flinched. And as they should, because Ashley Sullivan is
She
a
does
ninja.
forward roll out of it. She makes it. She works. She saves
Right.
it.
She's a
but like
trained
you were saying,
gymnast.
she almost did a Christy Phillips beam mount on the low bar, saving that handstand before this fall. Like she could do. I'm like, oh, if she had gone a little bit farther, that's a Phillips mount on beam, and she should do that in her bars routine at UCLA and see what they do.
Honestly, this fall is funnier every time I watch it.
Oh yeah, it
Like,
has wonderful rewatch capabilities. There's everything that's happening in it in the background and foreground is a win.
She just shoots to, oh shit, flail, roll out. It's like ejector seat from her hands. And then we got another amazing moment of Netherlands-ness gymnastics, but also ninja elite skills.
Yeah, I do want to give some commendation. Maybe not the gold, but a solid bronze to Naomi Visser at World Championships. Naomi Visser of the Netherlands for her triple full to accidental side summy out of bounds in trying to connect out of it, which was phenomenal.
Yeah. The Netherlands, they love doing like a triple or double into a punch front, and she was going, there was no stopping her into this punch front, but she was traveling so hard sideways from her triple that she did travel at least 3 feet sideways while doing that front tuck cowboy so that it looked like a side flip, and landed half on the mat and half of the floor and half with a hand on the podium. So yeah, it was a classic and very relatable. I'm sure many gymnasts were like, yes, I recognize that from last week. Thank you for showing everybody.
It's important to recognize. I mean, you were saying you were going to have a whole relatable falls category.
Yeah, the most relatable falls. Do you remember this meet that we watched where there was, I don't know, they just streamed everything from one spot? And
well, it's D3. You know, we got you get the feed that you're going to get for a team that, you know, doesn't have like billions of dollars to throw into the production value. We'll take what we get. And so you get a fixed camera, and sometimes people like fall out of bounds, out of the shot.
So we had a gainer back tuck to face, which I feel like is also very relatable, because this is what happens sometimes when you don't gainer hard enough. And gainers are already hard. You don't want to land back on the beam when you're doing a gainer dismount. So you already throw yourself so far forward, and then she just disappears. It's just feet and some chalk. And then her teammates just nod like, yeah, all right, okay, keep it going. All right, let's go to the next one. And we got a great one next. We got a front chicken dump, one of our favorites, or kick over front, to a please try to stay on the beam to breakdance move, which is like a sideways what was her name in Stick It that did the thing on beam with the breakdancer team, wee and she like almost does a like chest stand and then falls off, and that is also very relatable, and rolls out of it, because gymnasts, they know how to fall. Everybody, this is why you should start in gymnastics, then do whatever you want in life, but learn how to fall over safely first. And my other favorite, because this is extremely relatable. You know what? You know why you learn a squat on? You learn a squat on in order because you have to lean forward really far, and then that helps you learn to lean forward to do a cast handstand and anything else that you want to do. Forward, switch your grip, all that stuff.
Even though you're like, why would I lean forward? This is a bar. I'm not insane.
This is terrifying. All I can see is the mat, and there's 5 feet between my head and the mat, and I can't get my feet on. So there's that time, there's an Illinois gymnast who went to do a squat on, but got too excited ahead of herself and missed her feet, and just slid her legs down the bar and did a front hip circle, which we've all done. There is the, oh shit, I'm in a meet, but I missed my squat on and did a front hip circle. But also safe did not smash her face on the mat because front hip circles save lives. I don't know if you'll know it's my car because that's my bumper sticker.
Good.
And then we have, of course, the all-important, most awkward moments of the year awards because
important. Making it weird, the other most important thing about gymnastics. It's an opportunity for comedy, and it's an opportunity to awkwardly make it weird somehow.
Gymnasts practice their routines 7 million times. 100,000 back handspring layouts you've probably done in your career. But do you practice your march out and high-fiving your teammates? No, there is a lot of practice there. So I would like my first nominee goes to the Turkish team in the mixed team inaugural event at European Championships, where
I love it because Nasli is like, don't touch me. We will do a high five. And Adem is like, bring it in. And there's maybe a disconnect in terms of intention that is very important for me to watch. I've watched it like 50 to 75 times.
It's so awkward. And it starts with like they walk out and he tries the high five and she's already looking at they were off like 7 times during this 30-second march out that he was trying to high five and she was trying to hug, or he was trying to hug and she was trying to high five. And it was just hilarious. And I loved it so much.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to introduce the next category?
Well, I think it's a good segue because the next category is the Hand-Eye Coordination Awards, which is we saw, like, I think Turkey, maybe is the winner of the Hand-Eye Coordination Awards, but we've got several others. We have that time Janelle McDonald tried to do LA hands, which was a really important moment. And it just kind of was like a Pac-Man situation. That was great. This is why the coaches really love when we watch meets, because we watch them in the background and then find the little random moment of where they did something weird and then talk about it for an entire year. So trying to do LA hands, and it worked a little.
More like, it could have been seen as like the obscene gesture that your friend does to you in 4th grade when you're learning about the birds and the bees. But yeah, that was an excellent one. And then we had, of course, gymnasts are not great at high-fiving. It's notoriously a problem for them. Yeah. And we had that at a Brazilian meet.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was really tough to pick a winner because there were 20 wonderful nominees. But really, Sophia Weisberg slapping Gabriela Barbosa straight in the face in a way that was not even close to a high five is really the winner. And also how funny and embarrassing they both found it to be was also part of it. That's the camaraderie we're looking for when you slap your teammates straight in the eye.
Oh my God. When they immediately both crumple with laughter after that was my favorite. And then there was an award that, we can really relate to, because as people who use microphones for a living and sometimes they don't cooperate.
No.
Yeah.
And sometimes you're live and they don't cooperate, which we're also quite
very familiar with.
So I really do need to give an award to the comedy stylings of Angela Andreoli and Giorgia Villa at Italian Championships this year, trying to interview Martina Maggio and almost deafening her instead.
It's like,
it happens.
Take this thing out of my ear. Oh, yeah. Oh, it was bad. Oh, you guys.
And by bad, I mean great.
It was fantastic. We would like to thank all of our nominees, congratulate all of our winners, and thank you all once again for giving us comedy all year long. Because as we know, Spencer, gymnastics is a comedy, not a drama.
Correct.
We have a few updates and fun music to go with our updates. So we have merch available for you, and we're going to be adding more things to the store for the wonderful upcoming college season, like a giant shirt that just has a yellow card on it, which, by the way, a bunch of judges that I talked to were like, oh, wait, there's new stuff for yellow cards? Wait, I didn't really realize yet. But I understand, because the the people in charge of the judging haven't put up all of their videos to the public for how, the judging instructional videos, those aren't up yet. But
those aren't up yet. But they did release the rules modifications PDF document, which is where I got it.
Yep.
I don't talk to people, so if I have information, it's because it's publicly on the internet.
Yeah, exactly. So, what else do we have, Spencer?
We have College and Cocktails starting again for the new season. Our first College and Cocktails will be for the first meet of the year, January 2nd, Friday, January 2nd. We're going to do it at about 8 p.m. Pacific. It'll be after the meet that we're watching, which is Iowa and Minnesota at Utah to start the season. And then after that meet's over, we're going to jump on, talk about everything we saw. Like Battle Canada is already what we're calling that meet, by the way, because there's so many Canadians on all of those teams that we're really excited to see. So this is just like we're starting the year with our I Wish I Were Canadian meet. And the theme and the energy that we're bringing into 2026 is just like aspirational Canadianness. Yeah,
which is a great way to start the year. Also, a reminder that we have our live show replay ticket available, so you can watch Cecile and Levi and hear all the things that they had to say. And of course, that's also a fundraiser for the National Eating Disorder Association. And we also have the live show season pass. You get 4 live shows, virtual tickets for the price of 3. And Club Gym Nerd and all of these makes a great gift, everyone. So you just click that gift box or you deserve to join Club Gym Nerd if you're not already a member. And full commissions are sold out, but you can give the gift or get yourself a mini commission or a Joy or Rager meter with these. So also The Balance, my year's coaching Simone Biles by fact checker and Amy Borman is available now on Amazon. There's a sale, $5, makes a great stocking stuffer. Also, Spencer's internet provider decided to be jerks and throttle him while we are recording. So we are going to, hopefully this will be okay if you're a visual listener and his mouth will match up with the sounds coming out of it. But if it's not, just know that we tried everything and it's whoever your internet provider is his fault and throttling should be illegal.
Let's talk about some Gymternet news.
The big headline this week.
Yeah. You're laughing already, so I'm excited for this headline.
The FIG and a bunch of other sports federations rebranded themselves as World Sport. So they are now, the FIG is now World Gymnastics. There's like World Swimming and probably World Cricket or whatever the other sports are that people play. You can tell I've been watching.
Those are the 3. Gymnastics, swimming, cricket. End of sports. There's someone out there who listens to our show whose other 2 favorite sports are swimming and cricket, and they're just like, this is correct. Jessica's encapsulated my world.
Those are the only ones. Yeah.
It is kind of, okay, it's a very basic choice, but I also feel like anything that isn't basic would have been, it could have gone very easily awry. This is just like, I'm fine with it. I would like, as we talked about, I think a little bit on this behind the scenes, I would like it to be followed with more than just like a new name and logo. Like, let's put our rebranding where a mouth is. Does that make sense as an idiom? I don't like it.
Show in practice.
Show in practice that you have rebranded in a lot of different areas.
Yes, not just naming yourself, but things that you do at meets and competitions, and maybe like the robot judging works, for example, and you actually use it. I don't know. That could be one thing. Just throwing it out there.
What do you think of the new logo, though? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I get where we're going. It's like a rhythmic gymnastics ribbon that's kind of a stylized W for World Gymnastics, but then it has a head. It's giving tapeworm to me, which I feel like is probably not ideal, but I think it's supposed to be giving rhythmic gymnastics ribbon.
The problem with it is it reminds me of, there was some charity that had a lot of like things where you would call on the phone and people would be on the TV things in the
like
old days.
Telethon type.
Yes. Thing? And it reminds me of one of those that was like a charity fundraiser for something. And it's weird. It also looks like they're just whipping that poor person around. Just that person is on a roller coaster and has no control over their lives, which is maybe what they were going for.
I've noticed, like a person's head on something that's stylized, because USAG did that too with their, which is now not that new, but newish logo that I think looks like a turkey. And I say, like, once you see turkey, you can never, like, you're just, this logo is
can't
just a
unsee
turkey. You can't unsee the turkey. And so I don't understand why they didn't pick just like a turkey as their animal mascot. I'm like, the logo's already a turkey. We had some preseason meets. A lot of the NCAA teams are showing us what they can do. Some of them completely showing their whole meets, and some of them just giving us little bits of the people they think we want to see. But what if we wanted to see everyone? We did watch all of Georgia's preview, which was streamed. We talked about this a little bit with Cecile Landi, but also I wanted to talk about it again so people know that I wasn't just being polite because she was in person. I actually do think they looked extremely good in their preseason warm-up and looked very deep. And Georgia should have very high expectations this season for their result based on this meet. Like, I think they should assume that, like, we're done finishing 19th. 18th and 19th and those kinds of things. This team is way more talented than that, than they should expect to do better than that. We saw some highlights for me were a couple of the freshmen I thought looked excellent. Autumn Reingold on bars was very good. Khalees Wolford I think was the best of the new ones on beam. That was excellent. We talked with Cecile about Kamara Williams, about Jeffrey Scott. I thought Harley Tomlin was a huge surprise and pleasant surprise on floor with her double Arabian to stag. I was like, okay, you're in the lineup. Just from, oh, you didn't compete floor last year, to in the lineup for me based on watching that. So I think Georgia should be very encouraged. Also watched UCLA. Did you have a chance to watch UCLA's, Jessica?
I mean, I watched Nola's floor.
You watched the star of UCLA's preview, yes. Nola's floor. It is funny to me because, and some of this is like Jordan Childs was just doing Dancing with the Stars, so she wasn't back to doing everything. She was like, I'll give you a floor routine, but like I've been busy. But it's funny to me that like UCLA's preview, if you had them up in a meet against the other teams we saw completely, like Georgia, they would lose by a ton. And that's not unusual for UCLA. Like, historically, they've always been a slow starter, but it's funny to me because like none of these are the same coaches. Like, the entire program is different. It's none of the same athletes. It's none of the same coaches. It's just intrinsically like, we will be ready when we will be ready. And
you're
you will
welcome.
wait for us.
Yeah.
We did a like 3 10-0 starts on vault now, but like Jordan Childs wasn't vaulting. So I think it's a lot of TBD for UCLA, which we're kind of used to seeing, but we saw some highlights from the new elites. I think the highlight was Nola's floor. I think it delivered to expectations. I'm excited about it.
I also appreciated that she is doing a Last of Us floor routine in the beginning and then the zombie part. So obviously Pedro Pascal needs to come to a meet. So that's very important. The only part Nola is perfect in every way. She did provide an opportunity for comedy for us too, because in the beginning of the routine, she is like emoting and then almost falls over.
Almost tripped.
Yeah. But I was like, oh, that's just a sign that she's already infected. And by the time she does this tumbling pass, she's going to turn.
Artistic tripping.
It is. So the other thing, though, I didn't like, there's so many cuts in the music. And I'm like, this is like UCLA used to like set the standard, not follow trends. So I would love to see that back again, where it's like, this is the music and we're going to stay with this. And I would also like to see a deduction for using more than 2 pieces of music in a floor routine. That said, I love the choreography. It's great. And it's keeping up to the UCLA standard of.
And I think they did a good job of making it feel very Nola, but also not just like the same routine she's done before, which I think is the trap you can fall into with someone who does a certain thing well, which is just like keep going back to that well. And it feels at least a little different while still feeling like her, and that they didn't try to make her like happy, bubbly routine. Like, no one wants to see that.
Yeah.
Or at least that's me. I'm speaking for myself. Like, no one wants to see some happy routine. I will also say, though, the other thing about UCLA's floor that maybe you want is like, I would rank number 2 floor routine, Maddie Anyimi. She was number 2 for me behind Nola. And now I'm like, well, how can we get you in the lineup? Because I don't think you will be, but now I want you to be.
Yes. Tumbling. That's how you get into the lineup.
But she's improved tremendously. I don't think she's going to be in the lineup, but I think on every event, like she has improved by leaps and bounds. But I was just like, oh, I would like this into the lineup, please. Thank you. That is my request. I would like Maddie and Yemi in the floor lineup every week.
Speaking
Ashley
of good,
Sullivan also was just like, I'm Ashley Sullivan.
obviously.
It's over for y'all. I'm going to do the all around. I'm going to compete. I'm going to hit every single routine of the entire season with more difficulty. Goodbye.
Speaking of which, watching Stanford, I really like Levi's choreography, and I'm like, oh, this is very different for Levi. And then Barbosu, I was like, oh, Romania's here to
Anna
kick everyone's
Barbosu
ass.
looks so much better than ever. Like she's going to just destroy everyone. Yeah.
The handstands, the form, the authority on every
She's ready.
event. I was like, oh shit. That Stanford, like this is the thing, like we don't think of Stanford as like we're thinking Florida basically had the whole, you know, everybody
World
on the
team.
US world team.
Yeah.
But I'm like, Stanford has the whole world on their team and they're all really good. Yeah, I'm super excited for this team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's like, oh, you're coming in like, oh, this little you Americans like to play around with your cute little NCAA gymnastics. Oh, I got this. I'm going to destroy you. Speaking of elites, though, and speaking of Florida, we did see Kayla DiCello is back. It's been a long time since we've seen Kayla DiCello in college gymnastics because she did the like, I'm going to go back to Hills before the Olympic process. Like Jordan Childs did, taking the time off and not continuing competing elite, then got injured in summer
her
2024,
Achilles fell off,
and then had another injury, so wasn't able to compete at Florida last year. So it's been a couple years, and so you it's the situation where it's so many injuries where you're like, I know you're super talented, but I kind of don't know what to expect because it's been so long and so many injuries, and it's not a given always that you're coming back and being great. So it was nice to see. She was like, your Chaco 1.5. This remains easy for me. Goodbye. So that was exciting. We saw at least a few events from Kayla DiCello. That was a highlight, even though we saw just snippets of routines from Florida.
And then Cal got a new coach.
It made me excited about the season this year because there are a lot of new exciting people or returning exciting people.
Yes.
Feel new.
Both. Cal got a new assistant, so Mila Zahn is their new assistant coach. So they're bringing her back, which I think is nice to have the crossover longevity, like someone that's been there through the transitions to the new coaches.
Mm-hmm. And like, how do we get her also in the lineups?
There's that.
How do we I feel like they should have rehired her under a new identity, like we were saying for when Jordan Weber had to be a coach at UCLA because she was a pro and you weren't allowed to do that then. And we were like, yeah, but just change her name to like Florden Fleber, and she's a local gymnast who's walking on, and just like, you guys, we found this diamond in the rough.
Pull an old Romania.
You found a diamond in the rough at a local gym, and now she's on the team. Whoa!
Also, like Ondine and Jennifer Williams look insane. Jennifer Williams, Sweden.
Yes, Jennifer Williams at Stanford.
Yes, they're right next to each other.
Tanya Paulson's at Cal.
Tanya Paulson and Cal, and like all that group with Anna Barbosa, and like basically the international superstars are in the Bay Area. That is that's what's happening over there. But Ondine's form just ridiculous, and Tanya Paulson's form ridiculous, and Jennifer Williams ridiculous. So good. Oh yeah, and then Nina got knighted.
Sir Nina of Derwael?
Yes.
Is that her official title?
Yeah, that's what it is now.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was granted the grade of Grand Officer of the Order of Leopold today by King Philippe. Which, it's always shocking to me that anywhere still has kings and queens, but apparently Belgium still has that. And so it's in recognition for her exceptional career and the way she represented the country. And Nina is one of around 350 people in history, the whole history of Belgium, which has been around for a while, Belgium, way longer than us, to receive the Grand Officer grade. So highest civilian honor outside of heads of state and diplomats. So congratulations to Nina. Our hats off to
We
you,
just
or
need to
whatever
know
you
what the
do.
title is. Dame Nina,
Swords.
Leopold
Yeah.
Nina. I don't know
Knight.
what the convention is, but I would like to know.
I would like to just call her Knight Nina from now on.
Okay, good. Yes.
Yes, I enjoyed that very much.
Does it come with like a coat of arms or a crest of some kind?
Oh.
I want to know everything about this.
Yes, you should definitely get a whole new family crest that starts
Yeah,
when
you should get a
knighted.
crest. I think a gym nerds should there should be a design contest. Like what would Nina's like regalia be? Her crest.
Yes, we need a t-shirt with that on it. It is time for our 2 mini commissions. The first one is Dream Team 1 per event from Holly.
Okay, so a mini commission from Holly, who said, after joining as a club gym nerd, you have helped me follow and get excited about college gymnastics. I'm wondering what your ideal dream college gymnastics team would be. I've only been following college gymnastics for a few years, so please only use gymnasts from the last 3 years. You can use gymnasts from any team, but each gymnast can only be used on one event. Choose 6 gymnasts for each of the 4 events. You can use data, but also feelings. I'm excited to hear both Jessica's and Spencer's teams. Thank you both for all the joy you bring to my life.
Yay, thank you so much. So thank you also, Holly, for being a Club Gym Nerd member, helping us pay our bills. And you can also, if you guys want to get this too, become a Club Gym Nerd member at this level or give it as a gift at the World Champion level. So, all right, let's go with our teams. Prepare yourself, Spencer.
So summary, we're picking 24 gymnasts each. So 6 on vault, bars, beam, and floor, and we can't repeat. So you can only use one gymnast on one event, and they have to have competed in 2025, 2024, or 2023. And it's not a draft, so we can pick the same people as each other.
Yes.
These are the rules. How do you want to present our teams? Because I spent way too long on this.
I think I will go first with my first event, then you can go first. You can go next with your first event.
Okay.
So
before we start, I do want to preface that this full disclosure, when I was putting together my team, there were some gymnasts where I was like, I don't know I know I want to use you, but I don't know what event I'm going to put you on. So I'll put you on a column to the side. I was like, okay, Jordan Childs, Selena Harris, Alina Finnegan, you're over to the side. We'll see what lineup I put you in. And then I forgot about that column. And I didn't put any of them on any events. And then I went back later. That is what I will say.
This is why we have those giant screens that are enormous and go on forever.
So that you can make a column on another window and then forget about it.
Okay, so
yes, go.
I made a list of like, who are people I don't want to forget, who are people that are most beautiful at their gymnastics. And then I also looked at, well, who are people that were actually the best in terms of got the best scores, even if I personally like forgot about that completely because I only care about whose gymnastics I like to watch. So I started.
And we created these teams completely independently.
Right. We didn't look at each other.
We did not confer. There was no cheating.
Yes. And then I also made like an alternates list just for people that I was like, but I have to put this person up, but there isn't enough room. Okay, so let's start with vault. My first vaulter, Haley Bryant, obviously.
Leading off. Whoa. Okay.
Okay. Next, Anna Roberts, reigning vault champion, and does an absolutely perfect Yurchenko 1.5. Nikki Smith of MSU. Yeah. I will put her up any day, anywhere, middle of the night, snow, rain, hot summer, tropical weather. She will hit. Kaylin Chio, LSU. Yeah. Also a perfect gymnast.
So she's up fourth for you? Okay.
And then Mila Zahn. We just talked about getting, because also I trust her to hit anywhere, anytime, and has absolutely beautiful vault. And then Sage Kellerman, who should have scored higher with her beautiful handspring pike front and half, and is someone that I love the variety of her vault too, and she does it so well. So that's my vault team. They're all capable of 995s, 9975s.
I think it's a very good team. We actually have quite a bit of overlap. And now it makes me want to be like, oh, I can put some of my alternates in because Jessica already covered them, but that's not the rules. I locked it in. I locked it in and now it's done. Okay. I am leading off on vault with Miss Sierra Brooks.
Yeah.
Of Michigan. Yurchenko 1.5. I want that right off the bat. I also have selected Nikki Smith. Wonderful.
Good choice.
Amplitude. Up third, Jocelyn Moore. Talk about amplitude.
Yes.
I want that on the team. Stickability.
Yes.
I like it. She's ready to go. She's going to get everyone fired up. Fourth, somewhat controversially, I have selected Jordan Childs for vault. Not necessarily because it's my favorite event for her, because I think bars and floor I both prefer, but because my team needed her on vault. My team needed her score on vault, and I felt deeper on the other events. So I've made the strategic decision for the team, because Jordan's going to play for the team and do what the team needs her to do. She's going to compete vault today. And she's going to do that round off half on, tuck half, and no one's going to take any on the table deductions, and she's going to stick it, and she's going to score 9975, and we're going to win. That's what's going to happen right there. So I have Jordan Childs up on vault. Up fifth, Sage Kellerman, because perfect.
Right.
Agreed. Just fantastic. And then anchoring, I have Haley Bryant.
Yeah. I realize now I put mine in opposite positions. I put mine in, my one is actually my sixth person competing. But I stand by, my team is so good, it doesn't matter.
That you can lead off with Haley Bryant? Okay. You forgot how lineups work? Yeah.
But you can get a leadoff 10. It has happened in NCAA before, because actually the order doesn't matter. I can't believe you didn't put Pfister in your lineup.
I can't believe you didn't. I thought she was Suki Pfister of Ball State. I was like, Jessica, well, 1000%. I was like, Jessica, well, I was way off if I had to predict your vault team, because I was like, she's going to put Suki Pfister on. She's going to put KJ Johnson. Fall. She's going to put Shay's Yurchenko Fall, because you're going to be like, it shouldn't matter if you have a perfect Yurchenko Fall. I was like, she's going to put Paige Zancan's handspring on, handspring front, which was also like I seriously considered in an alternate position, didn't quite make the lineup.
I know my alternates were Amari Celestine and Sierra Brooks. You had Sierra Brooks.
I mean, also excellent choices. Yeah.
Yeah. I really had to weigh my favorites versus like, okay, well, who was actually ranked the highest and scored the best and was the most consistent.
I am so proud of you for even taking that into account.
It was painful. I have to be honest with you. It was not fun. Okay, we have a warning.
Would just like you to know that we're going to take longer than we allotted on the time, because I am having fun. So I just like to announce that I am enjoying myself. So we're not going to limit us to 10 minutes on this segment like we thought we were going to. That's just how it works.
Bars.
Event 2 bars. I will start.
Okay.
Leading off, Maddie Williams of Cal.
Yeah.
Legs together, has the form, will deserve a 10, but I'm accepting that she won't get it in the leadoff position. Up second, Mara Titersole, Missouri.
Yes.
Deserves a 10 every time.
Yeah.
Up third, I'm using Jordan Bowers on bars, because that is my favorite event for her.
Yeah. She's great on bars. I'm going to
put that up there. I think she's going to get a score, and she's going to go right before, unlike Oklahoma's lineup, I am putting Jordan Bowers right before Audrey Davis, because I think Audrey Davis, while we always talked about that deduction on her dismount, still fewer deductions than anyone else has in their routines. So it should be 10 or close. 9975. 995. I'll take it. But no one else should get a 995. And then Audrey Davis gets a 995. Up fifth, Leanne Wong. Done. Don't need to explain. Leanne Wong's going on bars. And then anchoring Suni Lee, obviously, once again, bars. Could have used her on other events, but it's Suni and bars. Don't need to explain. I'm very happy with this lineup. We dominated. Thank you.
We have a very close. I am really disgusted with myself because I have almost the same lineup as you.
I am disgusted with you as well.
Okay, so anchoring. All right, so I have Audrey Davis too, but she's my leadoff because I want to be like 10 for the leadoff. Just like,
boom, yeah.
It'll be a 9975 because she lands with her feet, you know. But then I also have Mara.
But one judge didn't see it, and that judge will be like, I was on the other side. I couldn't see it.
Right.
So I gave her a 10. Yeah.
March is just Olly because she can also get a 10. So I have a 9975 and then a 10.
Oh,
for
we
second.
both put Mara in our second position too. We've been
Yes.
spending too much time around each
No,
other.
we
This
have.
is disgusting.
It's a good thing we have a holiday break.
We have a holiday break. We need it. Ugh.
Lily Smith, hello, Georgia is going to
Yeah.
get the scores. Great bars, flies. Grace McCallum, because she is so consistent. College bars is like a forward roll for her. So
and
easy,
very clean on
so
bars.
consistent.
Like by far
So
her
clean.
best execution in her college.
Exactly.
Bars. Yeah.
So I'm like, reliable, she's got it. And then Trinity Thomas. That's right.
Hey.
Yes. Trinity
I mean,
Thomas.
obviously not surprising that she'd be on your team, but you have to pick which event. Yeah.
Right.
Not a wrong answer.
She's going to hit bars. It's going to be perfect. She's going to stick her dismount for the 100 millionth time. And then I also have Suni Lee anchoring bars because duh.
Because duh. Yeah.
Okay.
We gotta diverge a little bit. Let's hope we diverge on beam, although I'm already know we both picked Helen Hu because I'm alive in the world. So I know we're gonna overlap at least once. Would you like to take us away on beam?
I will. I'm going to take us to Oklahoma, who know how to hit a beam routine. And so I'm going to start with Faith Torres, who is ridiculously consistent. And she has that weird Oklahoma dance. It's unusual. Is it a choo-choo chain? Is it something happened in an old-timey saloon? You don't know. It's Oklahoma choreography.
And she's the only one who shouldn't get an amplitude deduction on her gainer full dismount.
That's right. Because it should, say it together, rise. That's right. Rise. Thank you, everyone who played at home. Like a rainbow. Miley O'Keefe.
Yeah.
Beam. I love her beam, obviously. Reagan Smith.
Yeah.
Who hit a beam routine to win on the final event, to win for her team, for Oklahoma, the would-be 2017 world champion until the mats killed her just like they killed Kohei. Helen Hu, current reigning and most interesting beamer.
Whoa.
Listen, just wait. Just wait. Okay. I like interesting beam. Then I have who competed in 2023? Oh, that's right, Nora motherfucking Flatley.
That is her Christian.
That's her. That is her Iowan.
So she was baptized.
That's her farm name. So Nora Flatley, who should have gotten an 11 on her last routine ever in her college career, but did not, and then was used an example of like this should really be a 9.6, and everyone was like, no one is going to give her a 9.6 because that's the best you can do any of those skills. This isn't elite where we deduct for breathing. Thank you very much. Nora Flatley is up 5th, and then Mia Takakawa. My all-time favorite beamers from Illinois. And I'm putting her up 6th because I want to be like, yeah, do you see her with all these people? You should remember she is one of the best. You should be giving her those scores because I feel like she was never scored high enough for my personal feelings. But then you know who I had in my alternate spots?
Who?
Jade Carey.
Whoa, okay.
Which you don't think about. She was like the most consistent ranked last year on beam. She's very clean and very consistent. And then Jeffrey Scott.
I know.
I'm like, how did I not put Jeffrey Scott in? Because Jeffrey Scott is everything on beam.
Okay, my beam.
Who do you have? Yes.
First of all, let us not forget Natalie Wojcik competed within the range of years that we have available here, and I want her on my beam lineup. Another one I could have used multiple places, but she's leading off this beam lineup, and she's just being like, everybody calm down. We're going to win this competition. I'm Natalie Wojcik. Here's my beam. Second up on beam, Isabella Magnelli, Kentucky. Isabella of the leaps. Best leaps on beam. She's in my beam lineup. Number 3, I have Reagan Smith as well. That Corbett, that half turn, it was an excellent college beam routine.
Correct choice.
4th, Miley O'Keefe also. She only has the most 10s on beam in college gymnastics history, so you kind of want to pick her.
Right.
5th, Miss Connor McLean is on my team because also we're going to have her do all of her difficulty on beam on this team. On this team, you do your layout to 2 feet is what I'm saying, and you're still going to, merit the highest score. And then, of course, anchoring the lineup is Helen Hu. This is a given.
Yes, which is also correct.
Some hard snubs like Emma Malabuyo was a difficult snub. Luisa Blanco.
Yeah.
Could have used Aaliyah here. Could have used Maya Lazan. Kara Aker. This was the hardest event, I think. This was the deepest event.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't mention my bars alternates. I wanted to go back to because you mentioned Kentucky, and I had Raina Worley and I had Gabrielle Stevens on bars as well. So, okay. Do you want to start with give us your floor
Okay.
roster?
We're leading off with Maya Hooten. She's just going to be like, who can do a combination pass? Me. People talk about my first pass. People talk about the amplitude on that. But my best quality is that I show you how to rise on a combination second pass into a front pike. This is what you're supposed to do. It's supposed to look like how Maya Hooten does it. Up second, I'm putting Aaliyah Finnegan on floor. Could have used her on beam, but I felt we were deeper on beam, and I wanted the double Arabian in the floor lineup. So she's up second on floor.
Yeah.
Third, Shay Campbell. I'm using her on floor because of, obviously, she is my best UCLA floor performer of the BJ Doss era.
Yes.
At UCLA. Shay Campbell wins that award. She is the best one. Fourth, Trinity Thomas. Obviously, it's Trinity Thomas. I elected to use her on floor because I think that's my preferred event for her.
Yes.
No wrong answers in the world of Trinity Thomas. Number 5, Brooklyn Moores. Obviously, I feel like we might overlap in this lineup as well.
Could we?
Brooklyn, we might overlap, but it's Brooklyn Moores. I'm also human. Don't pretend I'm not a human being. Of course, I'm going to put Brooklyn Moores in my lineup. And then, who are we anchoring with? We're anchoring with Jade Carey.
Because if there's a double-double available, you take a double-double.
She's going to get a 10. Now, there are a couple people who I wanted to put in this lineup, and I will mention who I didn't because I anticipated that you would put them in your lineup, and now I want to know if I'm right. Because there are a couple performers who I'm like, I want to put you in my lineup, but I feel like Jessica's going to cover you, so I feel like it won't feel like a snub because Jessica's going to be on top of that, but now I want to see.
Okay, so I chose Jordan Bowers not for bars like you, but on floor. Because double pike and confidence. I chose Leanne Wong for double Arabian reasons.
Okay.
Like you chose Aaliyah Finnegan for double Arabians and getting very high scores. You didn't take Emma Malabuyo, but I was not going to leave any Emma Malabuyo business.
I mean, fair. Yeah.
Out. So Emma Malabuyo will be dancing on floor for my team and getting tens and wowing the crowd. And then following her up, obviously, will be Shay Campbell, because as you mentioned, and it will be her brickroll routine where she touches the ground 3 times and does the foot. That routine. That will be the era. And I would also like her to wear the Black Excellence leotard because that's my favorite one. So yeah, I've already planned the leotards out for this whole line. Everyone's wearing a different leotard that complements them. And if you need to wear 2 bras, I won't put you in a backless leotard because I care about your boob ligaments. And then, of course, in 5th place, we're going to have Brooklyn Moores.
Whoa, she's not anchoring.
She's not anchoring.
Okay. I mean, but Brooklyn Moores. Don't need to explain. It's perfect. Yeah.
Right. Because you need to show all the things. You need to show the power, the dance, the elegance, the double Arabians. You need to show the culture. You need to show I can do 7 different kinds of dance at once. Everyone's done those things. Then we have Brooklyn Mars. It's like, oh, you know what? You don't have to do showing my personality. And that's my imitation of.
No one wants to see your personality.
No one wants to see.
It's probably bad.
That's my imitation of the announcers showing her personality. Yes. No one wants to see that. Put it in a box and perform I
want to see
that's what we're here for.
Historical personality, a literary personality.
One of the greats. Pick any queen and just say that your routine is that.
Really?
So Brooklyn Moores will be performing one of her great routines, but it will be climate change themed.
Sure.
And there will be a call to action from the UN that goes with it every time she finishes. Then we have Skyla Schulte doing her freshman year.
Okay.
Paris is Burning routine.
Excellent choice.
Yeah.
So I
Because
will
Skylar
say,
Schulte's freshman routine was
the two
the
people
one.
I did not include because I was sure you were going to were Amari Celestine and Darion Goburn, and you didn't pick either of them.
I know.
Whoa. I mean, it's very
Amar.
tough. They're very tough decisions, but
It is. And Amari Celestine, like, I thought about her. She's, she's right there. I was like, am I going to use her? I'm going to use her in floor. I'm going to use her in... But I had to really, like, my floor lineup is really the one I thought the most about. And it has, it has everything. It's really the most complete of all of my lineups, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it's very difficult to put together a team. I'm very impressed with how viable your team is. I was expecting one that was more like, okay, well, she doesn't even compete bars, but you've put her on bars.
Because I like her toe point?
Because I like her toe. I'm very impressed by this team.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I also, let me just talk more about my floor lineup for a second.
I would love for you
I'm very impressed that my floor lineup is, it is compositionally, it has the same level of competence and skill and mastery as, like, I want to say, like, a Vegas dancer has to have, because if you're in a Vegas show, you have to be able to do ballet, you have to be able to do hip hop, or so you think you can dance, winner. You have to be able to do every style of dance absolutely proficiently without the audience knowing that you are not a prima ballerina. And do it all, with style, with tumbling. And I'm just very proud of that lineup.
Okay,
it's almost like...
I'm glad you are proud of yourself.
Thank you so much, Spencer. Thank you. Yeah. Okay, well, we're amazing.
I highly encourage our listeners to play this game, like perhaps over a holiday break in which you would like a distraction or to not have to do a conversation. I fully encourage you to hide away and spend way too long playing this game instead, because it is very fun and very time consuming.
And I did have Kalia Lincoln, obviously, as I could have used her anywhere. I could have used her on vault on a floor, but she is my alternate on floor. I feel like that's more
the other conversation I was having with Fact Checker is that you have another team that's your, in theory, team, where you have like Morgan Hurd. It just kind of never happened.
Right. Like, I would put Morgan Hurd just for, like, emotion on my team. And Kalia Lincoln, I would have her be like, okay, leaps and tumbling, Kalia Lincoln, and then I have Morgan is going to dance and do the emoting.
Like we talked about with Cecile in the live show, our hybrid tag team floor routines.
Right. Because we gave her all of our ideas, you guys. So
we weren't shy.
If these things happen, which she invited. So thank you so much to our commissioner. And remember, you can get one of these by joining Club Gym Nerd, or you can give it as a gift. The next mini commission is the Alabama-Georgia drama. I'm so excited for this one from HD Gym Girl.
Okay, the brief is, I have always had a fascination with the rivalry between Alabama and Georgia during the Sarah Patterson and Suzanne Jacqueline days, having grown up a huge Alabama fan and attending meets with my family since I was born. Please go into depth as to how the rivalry started, the back and forth between the teams with winning SECs and nationals, etc., and of course the outfits and stereotypes of each team. How dominant were these teams in the SEC and nationally? I know most of us have all seen the Sarah versus Suzanne ESPN documentary, but I want more. What traditions did these coaches start at each school that are still applicable today? For example, Alabama was the first to have a pink meet and was started by Sarah, who had breast cancer. Additionally, talk about how these coaches were pivotal in putting women's sports, specifically gymnastics, on the map at a national level and what their legacies are. What great moments stick out in your minds from these days? Thanks so much.
Okay, so thank you so much for this commission, because I have so many stories to tell you. And if you want one of these, you guys, you can get them at the Club Gym Nerd, GymCastic.com, the world champion level, or give it as a gift. So, okay, the dominance, like this numbers, you do the numbers.
Yeah, let's talk through some of the dominance, because Sarah Patterson, who started before Suzanne Jacqueline, so her first season was 1979, ended up winning 8 SEC championships. The first was in 1988, and 6 national championships, also the first in 1988. Suzanne's first season at Georgia was not until 1984, ended up winning 16 SEC titles. The first was in 86, and 10 national titles, the first in 1987. I think what's really interesting there is we think of them, because of their careers, so much as, okay, kind of in my mind, it's like, okay, they started at the same time and immediately had a rivalry. And it's sort of the, it's like people like to frame it as the fight part, and there certainly was a lot of that, but it also took the one to motivate the other in a way that made them both better, kind of thing. And it was the rise of Georgia's program that also helped spur the rise of Alabama's program, and they are both more successful than they otherwise would have been for having each other there.
Yeah.
To push each other. So in terms of the SEC, either Georgia or Alabama won the title every year from 1990 to 2006, and then the rise of Rhonda Fain at Florida that kind of stopped the either Georgia or Alabama thing. Nationally, Utah had won 6 straight championships, including pre-NCAA, before the NCAA invented women. So Utah had won 6 straight before Georgia won in 1987, and then Alabama won in 1988. So there is incredible significance there in making it not a one-team race anymore and making it a more competitive competition. And also, even though Utah's not part of the like Sarah and Suzanne dichotomy, also is an intrinsic part of the story in terms of also being made to get better because there were legitimate rivals who were also winning national championships. Georgia won 5 straight. So 5 straight, finishing Suzanne's career. Georgia won 5 straight in a dominance. Alabama never had a streak, really, more than 2 of winning. It was like more here and there. Georgia had like streaks where it was the Georgia team. But more importantly than any of these titles, the stereotypes of each team. What we really want to talk about.
So, okay, let's talk about the Georgia. Okay, first of all, I want to talk about Alabama setting themselves apart as like the Southern Belles. And I am repeating that phrase as it has been told to me by people in the South. So I am not taking anything from that phrase, but that is what many people in the South have told me. And I remember there was specifically the family member of a long time coach at LSU who I talked to this about. And I was like, I kind of don't understand why these teams like think of themselves this way, or what is the deal? Like, when you're not from the South, it's all the South. And so this family member said, here's what you need to understand. Alabama sees themselves as the Southern Belles. They are proper. They wear hoop skirts, and they are doing all of that stuff, cotillions and whatnot. And then everyone else is considered, not proper. They are proper and no one else is. So like LSU is like, the bad team that, is trailing behind, and Georgia, they put themselves, I think, very intentionally to the side of what Alabama portrayed themselves as like prim and proper Greek, what is it called that they do? Sororities, that kind of image. Alabama's one of those schools where they do they have those giant mansions, and they do all the society, it's not stuff, and it's like generations are in these college clubs called sororities, and they live there and everything. So, anyway, so Georgia set themselves aside as like the bad girls, and they went with the leather jackets and the bulldogs. And I have a quote from a former Georgia team member who said, quote, Alabama were the rival team. Utah was on the other side of the country and had lost their mojo, and Tuscaloosa and Athens are only 3 hours apart. Alabama wore white bows in their hair and acted prissy and pure and butter wouldn't melt in Sarah's mouth when the press or the fans were there. Butter wouldn't melt in her mouth. I was like, what does that mean? So that is some background from some insiders on the differences in the teams.
Another part of the commission, which is, I know most of us have all seen the Sarah versus Suzanne ESPN documentary, but I want more. Okay, so let's go into the more department, because that is very much like, it tells the story, but it's an authorized. It's an authorized story, an authorized documentary. Like, there's definitely an unauthorized story to be told here, a lot of which I don't think anyone knows, or at least some of which, and some of which we definitely do. But that's kind of like, they cover it, but skip over some parts that were clearly, I assume, off limits for the documentary. Like, there's nothing about like Suzanne's husband and all of the drama there. Like, that was like, it feels very like, oh, that was off limits. But in my memory and experience, like the stuff about Suzanne's husband and potential rules violations is like the big part of the story.
Mm-hmm. Well, number one, let's go back to why it took that documentary so long to come out, because we had two insiders tell us that the reason that it took so long is because they kept threatening to sue each other if something specific was in the documentary about the other one.
That's why it feels very like, smoothed.
So
they sanded the edges.
Yes. So let's go back now and talk about and I'm putting this in quotes, husband of Suzanne Jocelyn. So this is Don Leeburn, rest in peace, because he recently passed away. They were not actually married, even though she presented him as her husband for many, many, many years, maybe 30 years or longer. They weren't married because Don Leeburn's wife wouldn't divorce him until I think like 10 years ago. They finally were able to actually get married. But I think a lot of people didn't know that. And also, like, I do not care. Call each other whatever you want. But I do think, like, it's a lie if you say someone's your husband and you're not actually married. But that also, part of this goes to, like, how rich he was. And that's part of why his real wife wouldn't actually grant him a divorce, because part of it was, like, how rich he was. And he was also involved he was like a regent for the university. So the biggest thing, let's start with the dog bite incident. So
this is what people want to know. Let's start with the dog bite incident. Yeah.
So this guy, Don, was out walking his dog, and this story was very responsibly reported by the student newspaper, the Red and Black. I'm pretty sure that's the student newspaper. Mm-hmm. So hats off to student journalism. So there was a fight between Leeburn's dog and like the neighbor's dog, but it ended up in a fist fight, and both of the neighbors said the other one started it. But the neighbor ended up much more injured than Don, Suzanne's not husband. And it was it was bad enough that it made the paper and the police were called. So that's one thing. Because who gets in a fist fight? Even though I talk about getting in fist fights and a lot, I don't actually do it. Okay. So the second thing,
and we should say, so he was on the Georgia Board of Regents.
Thank you.
The Board of Regents situation. Yes. Yeah. So there was questions about, like, is this, I guess, like, or is the Georgia team getting unfair treatment and all of those allegations, questions, because of his position at the University of Georgia, while Suzanne is the head coach of the gymnastics team.
And then that led to what eventually happened involving the husband, not husband, that led to the NCAA revoking a scholarship to punish Georgia. Mm-hmm. So the story goes that Suzanne said that if we win a national championship, I will take this team, or the seniors, I will take you on my husband's private jet, and I will fly you to New York City for the weekend, and go to a show and go shopping, and we fly you back. And that did happen. They did fly on the private jet. They did go to New York City for the weekend, or a night. And they came right back, and they immediately this punishment is ridiculous. They lost one scholarship over this. One scholarship? I mean, I guess because in the grand scheme of things, when you have like the football
in
players,
the grand scheme of this, none of this actually matters. Yeah.
Right. It's like ridiculous. And also, why don't you just plan a meet in New York City? And also, you have people whose entire families are being paid. So like a football player would play at these schools. So, but I think anyway, that's another way that the husband was involved, the non-husband. The boyfriend was involved. The other thing that was a grand allegation that has never been proven, but we did mention on one of our April Fool's episodes where we were like, yeah, this definitely for sure happened. There is an allegation that there was an athlete who was awarded a nose job for winning a national championship. So like Suzanne, she's had like a million things done to her face. So this would not be surprising. But the other thing was, I remember was the controversy about celebrating. Do you remember when they knew they had won, but the meet wasn't over? It was during that like 5-year streak where they won 5 years in a row and were completely unbeatable, and they were so good. And they knew they had won. The meet wasn't over, but they got up on the podium and they were celebrating with their fans. And the other coaches rioted. That was the worst. They might as well taken a shit and thrown it at the other competitors. That's how offended all the other coaches were.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys, this goes to like the coaches and even their like alumni and fans reporting to the NCAA rules violations constantly. Yeah,
it's
so
the part of it that I find the fun part of it, because there's also a part of it that gets to like the moralizing aspect that I think is just kind of dumb. Like a lot of this just made me like a lot of the ideas of like Suzanne being like, you know, she's the immoral one and Sarah's the moral one, which got to that point. It made me just like Suzanne more, because I'm like, everybody just shut up. Like, this just makes me like Suzanne more some ways, even though I know she's breaking rules. But the parts of it that I found so fun were like the intentional baiting and then righteous outrage aspects of it were the most fun. Where it was like, I don't know if this is the same instance that you were talking about, but the one that Suzanne writes about in her book, where the meet wasn't over. They like Georgia still had one beam routine left, and then they put on the like, we defended our championship shirts. Like we won the championship and we defended it. And then the Alabama fans booed them. And then Suzanne made some comment like, that's the most disrespect. I can't believe that they would be so unsportsmanlike to boo us like that. I mean, that's what you wanted. Like,
yes,
you baited them to do that. That's exactly what you wanted to have happen. And then you turn around and be like, that was I couldn't believe how unprofessional that was and how disrespectful that was to our team. Like that very knowing rivalry is the stuff about this that I love.
And I think the other question that our commissioner asked was about the traditions that the coaches started. And we talked about, you know, the pink meet and how, you know, Sarah Patterson was the first to do that. And that became their biggest money and income meet of the year. And then she taught all the other coaches around the country how to do this meet and to make a profit off of your meets, because this is still, you know, the time when, you know, the footballs would be like, well, we're the only one that makes money and no one else makes money. So we're the only ones that deserve anything from being an athlete, you know, that whole attitude. And so that's one thing that like I credit her for a lot. And also it's a great cause. The other thing, they understood the show. They understood fandoms. Fandoms are inherently toxic. Fandoms can also be amazing places to activate for change. And that's something that Sarah Patterson did with the pink meet. But also they really understood how to get fans riled up, and that rivalries are how you sell tickets. Rivalries are the things you learn at your, you know, gym nerd parents' feet when you grow up watching gymnastics and you learn about why this team doesn't like that. I mean, I hate the Dallas Cowboys and I don't even like football, but I'm from Pennsylvania. So we know they're evil. That's just a fact, you guys. So it's that kind of stuff that they knew how to get attention to their programs.
And I think, like, in that respect, and bringing more fans in, more people into the stands, people who supported the other sports at that university, and were like, oh, but you should come to gymnastics meets too. That was so much a big part of how they grew their audience, where they understood meeting the fans where they were in terms of, I'm going to speak your language and say, like, I think this is sometimes more in professional sports, but also in college sports, where you have fan bases that, like you mentioned, grow up with this. And then everyone who's actually within the team or the organization feels very mercenary because they're coming in, they just signed a new contract, and then they're here, and now I'm coaching this team or I'm playing for this team, but I don't have any association with it. And so then you have this disconnect. And I think with Suzanne and Sarah both understood that, like, I want you to know that I hate LSU as much as you do. And we can bond over that, and we feel the same way about that. And that's why I'm like, coaches now, like, don't be afraid to be the villain, someone's villain.
Yes.
I think, like, it's okay. And I think that's something Suzanne in particular embraced, where she was just like, okay, I'm Alabama's villain. I'm just the villain here. I'm going to be the villain. I'm always going to be the villain. So why not live up to that? Why not just embrace it and be it? I'm going to be the villain. It's like, it's okay to be the villain. Like Jenny Rowland, if you came out and just said like, I hate LSU. I just want to beat them so bad. I hate LSU. Those Florida football fans would just be like throwing roses at you. They would love you so much if you were just like, you know who I hate? LSU, Georgia, Alabama. Hate them. Hate them.
Whoever you hate. Yes.
Whoever you hate, I hate them too. Now we're friends and your fans. Come to our meet.
I think the other tradition kind of stuff they founded and were so relentless with that everyone should be thankful for both of those teams for is the endless promotion and marketing and outreach. And when I think one of the things that is so frustrating to me about men's gymnastics is the coaches don't understand that you're 20% of your job is coaching. The rest of it is fundraising and promotion. It is a 24-hour a day, 12 months out of the year, no time off, constantly promoting. And that doesn't mean you're making phone calls. It means you're going places. You're taking the team with you. It's all the time. There's no time you are not promoting. End of story. It is, people think like college is easier because you just coach and then at like 2:00 you're done and you get to go home. Not if you want to grow a program. Not if you want to have fans like Utah and Alabama and Georgia have had. You are doing it all the time. Okay, so we also had a question about talk about how these coaches were pivotal in putting women's sports, specifically gymnastics, on the map at the national level and what their legacies are.
I mean, there's so much, and a lot of that we touched on in terms of growing audience, attention, eyes is the biggest legacy in a lot of ways, but also just like breaking I think especially the rivalry between them broke the like prissy girls dancing around, like little girls dancing for gold stuff. Like they were competitive, angry, often wrong, or like maybe misguided, and that's okay because like you're a real person, so sometimes like you're not going to be right all the time or say the good thing or the right thing. Like you're going to make mistakes and all of that, and they both made plenty, and that's kind of part of it, that it's, you know, and it's okay to want to win and say it and like then regret what you said later. Like that's all fine. That's all good.
Also, using everything for PR purposes is what they were so good. Oh, someone's criticizing you? Use it for PR. Turn it around. Use it for a rivalry to sell tickets. Like that kind of PR was so savvy. And I remember there was one coach that kept talking about this meet as an NCAA press conference, and the coach was like, "It's going to be a bloodbath." Da, da, da. And like because there's no Suzanne or Greg or Patterson anymore, and was trying to rile up the other coaches. And the other coaches were like, "We're really happy to be here, and it's an honor." And this coach was just like, "What the hell, man? Do you not know how to sell tickets? Like, it's sports. It's a rivalry."
I know. It's like oftentimes like the student sports reporters who are like, you know, assigned to cover the gymnastics team will lob a question like, "You got that big meet against Georgia coming up this week. What do you think about beating Georgia?" And they will just be like, they will completely muff the question and be like, "Well, you know, there's no offense and defense in gymnastics, and we just got to focus on ourselves and be in our bubble." I'm like, when I hear that, I'm like, okay, you just told people don't come to our meet.
Right.
Like, it's boring. The sport is boring. There's no reason to come. It doesn't matter. Please don't come to our arena is what I hear when I hear that. Like, you got to be like, no, we want to destroy them.
Yes.
I hate them. We want to beat them. Yeah.
Yeah. I also think, okay, so the other question was great. Okay, what great moments stick out from your minds from these meets? I have a quote.
All of them. Being excited about a dual meet.
Yeah. And what kind of shenanigans are going to go on.
Yeah.
I have to say that one of the first times I was at a meet, and I had never seen like Georgia, Alabama in person, and I went to this meet, and I was used to, I was much younger, and I was used to like staying and talking to athletes after and be like, "Hey, I love this. Like, what are you doing? I'm going to go back to elite." All the questions that I ask now for a living, but I would love to talk to the athletes after. And I remember Georgia were like, they wouldn't come over and they wouldn't talk and they wouldn't engage. And I was like, oh, wait, they're taking this really seriously. Like they actually think people here don't like them. because they're Georgia, and that couldn't be further from the truth. Like, people had signs for the Georgia meet at a UCLA or UW, it might have been, meet, and I was like, whoa, this is so weird. So that stuck out to in my mind, and then I talked to some more people for this. And one Georgia team member said, I remember a Florida gymnast getting in trouble for telling the media it was fun to see Suzanne cry when we lost to UCLA at nationals. Oh my God. I mean, there you go. That's the kind of PR that could be embraced. Oh, the other thing that sticks out is there was an allegation that a gymnast and this was specifically like, we are gonna screw over this other team kind of thing, because this happens all the time. Like, someone will change where they're going to school, and it means someone might be screwed out of a scholarship, or they give a scholarship to a walk-on or whatever. But anyway, the story that this goes to is that there was an athlete who was coming for a scheduled official visit to a school. They were, weren't committed anywhere. The coach is at the airport, ready to pick the athlete up, like standing at the gate when you used to be able to stand at the gate and pick people up. And then like the gymnast doesn't come off the plane, everybody's gone, not there. And the coach calls the athlete and is like, hey, I'm standing at the airport, I'm waiting for you. And the gymnast goes, oh, I decided I wanted to be a Georgia Bulldog or Alabama Elephant. And the coach was like, what? I literally, you couldn't have told me this before I drove to the airport. And the allegation from this coach was, oh, this is totally a tactic of a thing that like Suzanne or Sarah does. Like, this is how far the rivalry goes, that they would intentionally tell an athlete to not tell a coach that they have already committed somewhere else in this kind of thing. And I was like, people would do that? What? And I was so naive. Because we know that coaches pull all kinds of crazy tricks, and not just them, all the coaches. So that story very much stuck out in my mind. All right. Thank you so much to Holly and HG Gym Girl for supporting us with your Club Gym Nerd memberships. Remember, these make a great gift. The holidays coming up, anyone's birthday, someone gets engaged, they get a new job, they get a promotion. It's a great gift to give. And if you want a mini commission too, you can get it at gymcastic.com at the world champion level. Or just join Club Gym Nerd and you get a whole extra podcast every week. Speaking of which, Friday is our last behind the scenes of the year of 2025. This Friday at noon Pacific or 8 GMT, last show of the year. We will, of course, have our replay episodes for you while we are blessedly off for 2 weeks. But remember, live show replay tickets are available. Live show season pass for 2026 is available. Makes a great gift. And I hope you guys really enjoy the live show. And again, the charity is a great charity that we're so happy to support. So I hope you guys enjoy the live show. Give us your feedback on the Cecile and Levi live show. And until Friday for our last behind the scenes of 2025, remember to take off on gay, split on rights, and thanks for listening. We'll see you on Friday.